Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We will begin the Forest Preserve meeting. So call to order and the Pledge of Allegiance by T.R. Smith.
Would everyone please rise? Veterans stand salute. Citizens, put your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's ridiculous.
Roll call.
Present.
Here.
Here. Castro. Dahl.
Here.
Devo.
Here.
Ross.
Here.
Dillon.
Here.
Kane.
Here.
Oshine.
Here.
Ismail.
Here.
Lazar. Leonard.
Here.
Lewis. Martin. Molina. Present. Pollock.
Here.
Shackwell. Silva. Smith.
Here.
Starrett. Present. Vasquez. Wernicke.
Here.
Thank you. Next thing we have is public comment. We're limited to 3 minutes. We have several people that want to speak. I'll call your names. If I miss your name, don't be shy. Because we have a lot of these things. I may have misplaced one. But the first one I have is Mark Schmidt.
Good morning. My name is Mark Schmidt. I live at 35 West 347 Elder Avenue in St. Charles. My purpose here today is to express my opposition to the agreement between the St. Charles Row Club and the Kane County Forest Preserve District in regards to the use and installation of improvements to the Fox River Bluff East Forest Preserve. The terms of the agreement violate the mission and goal of the Forest Preserve District of Kane County. Any agreement which constitutes a taking of forest preserve land for uses contrary to the mission to preserve, protect, and restore natural lands is inappropriate. There appears to be some mission drift. The first facet of my opposition is rooted in the permission granted to this club to limit use and access of others during their events. There's no reference to the number of events they may hold, nor the reference to the length of these events or the magnitude of these events, and how it may impact the Forest Preserve property and the surrounding community. As a taxpayer, I ask, will I receive a refund proportional to the amount of times that I do not have access to that Forest Preserve property? Because in the minutes of the meeting of St. Charles City Council, June 16, 2014, it was stated those events could last 2 days. That means it could be closed to public for an entire weekend when many people enjoy the Forest Preserve. Second facet of my opposition is regarding habitat and ecosystem destruction. The club's been granted the right to clear trees and build structures to house their equipment. The clearing of trees in order to build structures for one small group is not in the spirit of preservation. This is privatization. There is also no mention of any kind of tree inventory required by the club as they remove trees. Thirdly, in 2013, we purchased our property in Fox River Estates, which is directly north of the Fox River Bluff Forest Preserve. Backing up to Forest Preserve land was ideal, since preserved land, by definition, is not available for development. However, in Kane County, that does not appear to be the case. So, I'm asking this board to exercise Clause 16 in the agreement that allows you to revoke this license and thus allow all citizens of Kane County unrestricted access to Fox River Bluff East Forest Preserve in order to preserve and restore the nature of Kane County. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next name I have is Christy Stock Domain.
Good morning. My name is Christy Stock Domain, and I also live in Fox River Estates in St. Charles. I'm here today to urge the board to revoke the license agreement you made with the St. Charles Row Club for the use of Fox River Bluff East Forest Preserve. I stand here as a mother, a taxpayer, a voter, an environmentalist backed by 1,150 signatures of like-minded citizens. I feel this agreement violates Kane County Forest Preserve's own mission and goals for the following reasons: The proposed improvements drafted by the SCRC result in the destruction of an ecosystem. These 36 acres of woodland and prairie are a thriving habitat, untouched for decades. I have the immense pleasure to witness and observe on a daily basis such majestic species as the American bald eagle, the great horned owl, large herds of white-tailed deer, including an impressive stag and their fawn. Coyote packs can be heard in these woods, hunting their unfortunate meal and singing victory afterward. It is truly awe-inspiring, the heartbeat that these woods sustain. Any tree removal and construction will decimate this thriving ecosystem, revoke this agreement with the SCRC, and allow these species mentioned and numerous others to continue to thrive and be enjoyed by the community. We are at a time in our existence that we need to stop and think about every action we take. Let's slow down and consider what this agreement truly does for our environment, for our neighborhood, for its citizens, and for our future generations. For the local children who do not have a local neighborhood playground, Fox River Bluff Woods is our playground. It is our children's opportunity for exploration, education, and exercise. The people who moved to this area chose this location around the preserve for its quiet space and its natural beauty. Your agreement with the Row Club and its proposed developments will bring pollution and noise, violating and disturbing the peace and pleasure of the neighboring citizens and their rights to enjoy their property. Within your agreement, you grant permission to the Row Club to limit use and access of this public preserve during their private events. It is noted in recording meeting minutes that these events can span entire weekends, and there is no mention as to how frequently they will take place. By definition, this is privatizing public land. We ask that you exercise Clause 16 and revoke this agreement today and allow every tax-paying, ballot-casting Kane County citizen enjoyment of this long-standing preserve. Consider privatization, consider the community and their children, and consider this ecosystem. Thank you for your time. Please do not forget your mission. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Paul Domain.
Good morning. My name is Paul Domain. I'm a Kane County resident. The house I bought this in July of 2014, backs up to the Fox River Bluff East Forest Preserve. I bought this home so my family and I could enjoy privacy and the nature of the woods that backs my property. I have 3 young boys that are growing up to love nature, animals, insects, and exploration of these woods. I support my family with a full-time job in construction, and I do business in St. Charles and all through the Kane County area. I'm a taxpayer, a voter, and I pay rights to use the river. The license agreement you guys have made with the St. Charles Row Club for the use of the Fox Bluff Forest Preserve affects my rights to enjoy my property. This group and their events will limit my access and enjoyment of these woods when I'm away from work spending time with my family. With more people comes more trash and more noise spilling into my backyard. The Row Club may be a small group, but their presence and development plan will greatly affect myself, my family, and my neighbors. The planned development phases that are agreed upon in your contract with the Row Club will lead to complete destruction of this habitat. The idea of preservation will leave the equation completely. That's it. I believe this agreement with the St. Charles Row Club contradicts the Kane County Forest Preserve's mission. I fear that you may have forgotten your mission, so let me remind you, as stated on your website, your mission is to acquire and hold and maintain lands within Kane County that contribute to the preservation of the natural and historic resources, habitats, flora, fauna, and to restore, restock, protect, and preserve such lands for education, recreation, and pleasure for all of its citizens. Your goal is to preserve and restore the nature of Kane County, and you sold the preserve for $1 to a special interest group. There's a place for the Row Club. Tucked among an unincorporated private neighborhood is not the place. Please remember your mission and revoke this agreement. Thank you.
Thank you. Sharon Langland.
She's not here.
All right. Kelly Hatch.
Hi, I'm Kelly Hatch. I too live at in Fox River Bluff community. Sorry, nervous. I'm just going to support what they said. I had a speech here, but it's probably too lengthy. I don't know, I'm very deeply saddened learning about this. It's an area I consider very important. It's a preserve. I go there, I see people daily. I go there it feels like it's all about all I have right now. I go there with my dog, and I see people after school with their children. I've brought other people in there and told them of a nice, easy place to hike that's quiet and peaceful. Everybody in our community also picks up any litter that outsiders seem to bring in. You see goldenrods in there and bees, which are also kind of a dying breed as well. And I see eagles going through there. I feel that we need to protect that area, and I think it's good for outsiders, visitors, as well as the community in there alike. And I would like to see it, kept a while for future generations. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Shelley Lunecki?
Good morning. My name is Shelley Lonecki, and I live at 35W Maple Avenue in Fox River Estates. I am also the president of Fox River Estates Homeowners Association. Not even when Red Gate Bridge was proposed have I seen a unanimous opposition to the Kane County plans, as evident by the 1,150 signatures and growing that are on the same petition that I have signed. I'm here today to urge the board to revoke the license agreement you have made with the St. Charles Row Club for the use of Fox River Bluff East Forest Preserve. I feel this agreement violates Kane County Forest Preserve's own mission and goals for the following reasons. The proposed improvements drafted by the St. Charles Row Club result in the deconstruction of an ecosystem that has been very therapeutic to me. I have had 2 neck surgeries in the last year, and part of healing for the neck surgeries is a lot of walking. And there is nothing more therapeutic than walking through the forest preserves and looking at the beautiful nature that is right in my backyard to make it so that I'm able to take care of my 4-year-old daughter and enjoy what we have around us. These 36 acres of woodland and prairie are a thriving ecosystem untouched for decades. I have also had the privilege to witness and observe for the last 12 years on a daily basis such species as the bald eagle, the great horned owl, large herds of white-tailed deer, which I just had in my backyard this morning, 3 of them, and it was beautiful, including an impressive stag. Coyote packs, which can be a little unnerving to hear, but we do hear them around, and we do love hearing it. It is truly awe-inspiring the heartbeat these woods sustain. Any tree removal and construction will decimate this thriving ecosystem. Revoke this agreement with the St. Charles Row Club and allow these species mentioned and numerous others continue to thrive and be enjoyed by this local community. And I, for one, would love to not see this taken away, because my husband and I did move out there 12 years ago for the reason of the forest preserves, and my daughter and I go and my husband walk there every single day, and we would not like to see it demolished. Thank you.
Thank you. Dana Meadows? What's that? It's right here. Just gonna pass around. I'll read that.
Good morning. My name is Dana Meadows, and my family of 5 and I live in Fox River Estates. I'm here today to support and echo what my fellow neighbors and friends have already said or will say to you today. But I'm also here for my family as a taxpayer and a voter in this county who voted to conserve our open spaces. Fox River Bluff East is a forest preserve, and today you heard from others what a forest preserve is, and you have been reminded of your mission statement. I also found on your website, under What Can Citizens Do, this statement. Please remember, nothing may be removed from a forest preserve. Please respect plants, trees, wildlife, and artifacts for others to enjoy, as they are protected by law. We feel your agreement with the St. Charles Rowing Club violates your mission and promotes the I have practiced this word a million times, and I still can't say it, the privatization of this preserve. When I first heard of the agreement, I was surprised that I could vote to conserve our open spaces, but I had no say on this agreement. for land that was already specified as a preserve. When I called the Kane County Forest Preserve and asked about it, I was told, oh, well, that land is underutilized. And I thought to myself, well, how did they measure this? Did they drive by on Weber Road and not see that there were cars ever in the parking lot? If this is the case, it would be true, because the people who use this land all the time live near it and next to it. The traffic in those woods come from the neighbors that butt up to this preserve. My kids, instead of gaming like most kids today, played in those woods, and when they did, they used their imagination. This preserve is used by bike riders, joggers, walkers, dog walkers, bird watchers. And now that Red Gate Bridge has been built with the walking path, people are discovering this forest preserve, but they're not discovering it by cars. They're doing it on their feet and on bikes. This preserve, like many others that surround our community, are what makes St. Charles and this township unique, desirable, and family-friendly. They are the reasons we are continually voted in the top 10 small cities to live in this country. We are often told by guests who visit us, wow, I feel like I'm in the North Woods. I feel like I'm on vacation. People who have visited us have now moved into this area because of its unique, serene environment. You may be asking yourself, well, if this is so important to preserve, why aren't more people here? It's because many of those who use this preserve are hardworking tradesmen and women who cannot take a day off of work without getting paid. Dual income households who cannot afford to take a day off. If this meeting were at 7:30 p.m., I guarantee you there would be a line out the door. For every one of us who speak today, there are 10 plus people behind us wishing they could be here. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you for your time. And let's not take this forest preserve for granted. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one is Mike Tosaw.
Hi, my name is Mike Tusaw. I live in the Fox River Estates as well. I want to, number one, say that none of us are anti-row club. I attained a football scholarship. I grew up in East Aurora, and that enabled me to live my dreams. We had a meeting at Valley View Baptist Church about a month ago with a representative from the Row Club. And the mission of what they're trying to do with helping kids to get scholarships, I'm all for it, and it's on a very personal and deep level that I am all for it. And that does echo the sentiments of my neighbors. However, I want to talk to you a little bit about this forest preserve. I don't want to repeat what was said earlier, because that is how a lot of us feel. But I want to talk to you about how I've lived in the Fox River Estates since '07, and I have countless memories of my son Gunnar and my daughter Gracie going through the walking path, throwing stones in the river at the secret beach that's down there in that very area that would be a dock should this row club thing happen. And it's a very special place. And I don't think that that's something with which should be destroyed with what's going on with this. Now, the last thing with which I want to tell you about, I'm 38 years old, and I've lived in Kane County for over 30 of my 38 years. And in that time frame, I think I've fished every pond in Kane County. I know Kane County very well, and I've used everything in this county for a long time. But I want to tell you about the most beautiful site that exists in our county, and most of you may not even know about it. Come mid-June, I challenge you, drive down Weber Road. In mid-June, at night, you're going to see the most beautiful lightning bug display that you will ever see. It is simply magical. This is something that will go away should this row club be there. Folks, I've literally had parties at my house where we've had lightning bug parties to where we actually go around, and it is the most magical thing that you will ever see. All of this, along with everything that my neighbors have said, is gone should this row club actually be in place. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I have a letter here which I've distributed the copies. The lady that can't be, her name is Patricia McKeekey, something like that. She's from Batavia. I just passed that out. We're not going to read it, but is there anybody else who had signed up who I've missed, or is the last minute? That's it. Well, thank you very much. We'll move on to the agenda. We have presentation and approval of the minutes from January 12th. Is there a motion? Motion by Mr. Joe Hayman. Is there a second? Mr. Bill Leonard. By the way, isn't this your birthday week, Mr. Hayman?
The 18th.
18th, he'll be 70 on the 18th.
He should be.
Look at that. Is there discussion on this motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It's carried. Presentation and approval of the bills for January. Mr. Davis moves, Mr. Frost seconds. Is there discussion? This is a roll call vote.
Yes. Ferrero? Yes.
Castro's here.
Castro's here. Yes. Devos?
Yes.
Frost?
Yes.
Gillum?
Yes.
Hayman?
Yes.
Holstein? Isbell?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Yes.
Silva? Smith?
Yes.
Sterrett?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Wadecki?
Yes.
Motion passes. The next, we have bids and proposals. I'm going to take all three of them together. The first, resolution accepting a bid for the construction of a picnic shelter at the Freeman Kane Forest Reserve. Resolution authorizing the retention of Phase 2 engineering services for the Fox River Trail Raymond Street Reroute Project. And number 3, presentation and approval of the purchase of woodland seed mix from the Freeman Kane South Forest Reserve with the National IPA Network. Would this be moved? This would be moved by Barbara, seconded by Debbie Allen. Is there discussion on any one of these three? Okay, we'll have a roll call again.
Allen? Aye. Auger?
Yes.
Ferrero? Yes. Castro? Yes. Dahl?
Yes.
Davos?
Yes.
Frost?
Yes.
Gillum?
Yes.
Hayman?
Yes.
Holstein?
Yes.
Isbell?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Molina,
Want to come down these?
Pollock? Yes. Sheffler?
Yes.
Okay.
Smith? Yes. Sterrett?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Wadecki?
Yes.
Motion passes. Under business, we have Forest Reserve 2443. This is a resolution designating the depositories for funds. Would somebody like to move that? Teresa Barrios moves. Mr. Heyman, Mr. Birthday Heyman seconds. And this is a list of the bank accounts where you're going to put your money. This is again a roll call vote. Would anybody like to discuss this?
I would like to abstain.
Okay.
Likewise. Likewise.
Okay, we have 3 abstentions, plus me, and I don't vote.
Yes.
Okay. We'll see if you remember the extensions.
Allen?
Yes.
Castro? Yes. Dahl?
Yes.
Davos?
Yes.
Frost? Yes. Gillum?
Yes.
Hayman?
Yes.
Isbell? Lewis?
I'm abstain, please.
Leonard?
Yes.
Molina, Pollock? Yes. Sheffler?
Yes.
Silva? Yes. Sterrett? Yes. Vasquez?
Yes.
Wadecki?
Yes.
Ferrero, yes. Pardon me?
I thought she did.
Yep.
The motion passes. Next, under land acquisition, 2,444, resolution authorizing the acquisition of lands by purchase or eminent domain from the Reliable Materials of Illinois property located in Campton Township.
I'll move it.
Would Barb Brunecki like to move? Mr. Philip Lewis would
Be
second.
happy to. Thank you. Sorry.
Is there discussion on this? Okay, we'll vote.
Auger?
Yes.
Ferrero? Yes. Castro? Yes. Dahl?
Yes.
Davos? Yes. Frost?
Yes.
Gillum?
Yes.
Hayman? Yes. Holstein?
Yes.
Isbell? Yes. Leonard? Yes. Lewis?
Yes.
Molina, yes. Pollock? Yes. Sheffler?
Yes.
Silva? Yes. Smith? Yes. Sterrett?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Wadecki?
Yes.
Motion passes. Under agreements, 2,445, resolution authorizing an easement for Commonwealth Edison across a portion of the John Deere Forest Reserve in the Fox River Trail at Stearns Road. Mr. Pollak moves. Barb Winicki seconds. Is there discussion on this?
I have a question, Mr. President.
Okay.
Have we finalized then the agreement, and do we have compensation then from ComEd?
We will get compensation.
Okay.
$15,000.
Okay, thank you.
Ready? Ready to vote?
Allen. Auger.
Yes.
Ferrero. Yes. Castro.
Yes.
Dahl.
Yes.
Davos.
Yes.
Franz.
Yes.
Gillum.
Yes.
Kane.
Yes.
Oshai.
Yes.
Isbell. Yes. Leonard.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Molina. Yes. Pollock. Yes. Sheffler.
Yes.
Silva. Yes. Smith.
Yes.
Garrett.
Yes.
Vasquez. Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next agreement is 2,446. Resolution authorizing amendment to number 1 to Exhibit A in the license agreement with the Barrington National Farms LLC for the Brunner Family Farm Forest Preserve. Maggie Auger moves. Joe Birthday Heyman seconds. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, we'll vote.
Allen. Auger.
Yes.
Ferrero. Yes. Castro. Yes. Dahl. Yes. Davos.
Yes.
Franz.
Yes.
Gillum.
Yes.
Hayman.
Yes.
Oshai. Yes. Isbell.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Molina. Yes. Pollock.
Yes.
Sheffler.
Yes.
Silva. Yes. Smith.
Yes.
Garrett.
Yes.
Vasquez. Yes. Winicki.
Yes.
Is passed under grants, 2,447. Resolution authorizing district participation in funding for the improvements along a portion of the Fox River Trail at the Raymond Street Forest Preserve. Would somebody like to move it? Christina Castro moves, seconded by Becky Gillum. Is there discussion on this? Okay, vote.
Allen. Auger.
Yes.
Ferrero. Yes. Castro.
Yes.
Dahl.
Yes.
Davos.
Yes.
Franz. Yes. Gillum.
Yes.
Hayman.
Yes.
Oshai.
Yes.
Ismail.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Molina. Yes. Pollock.
Yes.
Sheffler.
Yes.
Silva. Yes. Smith.
Yes.
Garrett.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Winicki.
Yes.
Motion passes. Under President's comments, I was lucky enough to attend a banquet the other night, which was another birthday celebration. The St. Charles Chamber celebrated John Hoscheid's birthday and presented him with a very prestigious Charlemagne Award for all the things that he does and has done for St. Charles. We really fooled him. His wife had his family snuck all around the perimeters, and he didn't even know they were there. But it was well-deserved, and believe it or not, John was able to get up and speak.
No kidding.
Right away. You did a great job, John. You bring a lot of credit to the Forest Preserve, and we got an award for being around for 90 years, but that was the excuse to get him there. There's no need for an executive session. And under reports, is there a motion to place the reports on file? Mr. Lewis moves. Debbie Allen seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have an event coming up on March, what?
I just have a comment before you're done. Go ahead.
You want to do your comment first?
No, I'll wait.
I think John wants to defend
I
himself.
defer to my elders.
Yeah. Anyway, he was 57 years old, and the thing was, they flashed a picture of this baby on the screen, and they started, and he knew right away he'd been brought under false pretenses. But he got a free meal on his birthday, so that's not bad. Sugar mapling, Leroy Oaks Forest Preserve, March 12th to 13th, 1 to 4 p.m. This will be a really cool event for those who can attend. We also have Thursday at Brewster Creek, a home town hall meeting talking about a possible bee ordinance for the county. And now, Mr. Hoshai?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment briefly. It looks like the people who spoke have left, but I just want to give some perspective to the commission on the issue of the rowing club history. You may remember, we discussed this at length at multiple public meetings, and it really came to us as a forest preserve district at the request of the park district and the city, because the rowing club was really populated by a number of high school students who have found a new craft and a new way to use the river. And the park district was accommodating the rowing club at Fearson Creek Park, and they were looking to build a structure there, and that was further south on the river. So a better site for them practically was north of the river. In any event, we went through open public hearings on this over multiple meetings, and we had no objection from anyone at those meetings. And we entered an agreement, just like we do with a lot of other clubs. We have the Aero Club, we have soccer clubs that use our facilities, we have, I mean, you can even reserve a picnic shelter for yourself privately on a weekend if you want. So some of the people that spoke today may not have attended those meetings because they didn't live there at the time, but the agreement was ultimately signed after several months of deliberation in late 2014. Now, the agreement lasts for 10 years. It is subject to us revoking it early if we choose to do so, and that's something we could explore. But it was premised on the rowing club being able to go out and raise money to build the structure they want to build there. The property itself used to be an old farmstead, and when I was first elected, we had a ranger living there in a house, and there's a driveway and a gravel parking lot where the house was. We removed the house when the ranger retired. And so what they're talking about doing here is just reinstating that road and parking lot in the same area that currently exists, and then building a structure adjacent to it, which would be essentially in the same area where the ranger house was. So I think the reason we approved this before is it was going to put the property back in the condition it was when we acquired it. It wasn't going to destroy the flora or fauna, and of course any plan that they would bring forward to us is subject to our approval. Now, a couple things have transpired. We're 14 months into the agreement. Although the rowing club has been out trying to fundraise to get the resources to build the structure, they don't have the resources yet. So it may be a moot point anyway. But I just want to give that history here because in some of the discussion there's been at least inferences that we haven't vetted this publicly, that we're selling the land privately. We haven't sold the land to anyone. We continue to use it, and the rowing club's use of the property would be limited to a small portion of the property if they even moved forward. So, and it's a work in progress. We'll follow up with it.
Mr. Sheffel?
So the structure, is that the boathouse?
Yes.
Or is there going to be a boathouse down on the water?
Down on the water, there would be docks installed just to...
So they got to carry the boat a long distance.
Correct. Right.
Philip, did you want to say something?
Well, I think I've been a strong supporter of the rowing club and utilization of the river up on the north end there. I've walked that numerous times. The river can be improved there. There's just a lot of weed trees, et cetera, along the shoreline and that kind of thing. The utilization of the forest preserve. I'm an advocate that our citizens utilize our forest preserves. This rowing on the Fox River, for all of the things that we stand for, getting people out in our outdoor areas, offering beneficial use to youth as organizations, high school kids, to adults who want to get out on the river and enjoy it. This provides that opportunity, and this is definitely within our mission. I disagree that it is not within our mission. Our mission includes the utilization and recreation of our outdoor assets, and that's what this is. And I don't see any downside to it. I think the rowing club is challenged to pull their activities together. They'll be in concert with the Illinois DNR as they move forward. They'll be in concert with our Forest Preserve staff, and I'm very confident that this will be a very, in addition to the many assets that were spoken about today, this is going to be an additional asset as it comes forward. And I just think that good planning and good utilization of the Forest Preserve is definitely in the best interest. of Kane County and our citizens. So
When you walked it, did you see the fireflies?
I walked there during the day. I haven't walked there at night, but I've walked, and I'd encourage you to do that. Just take a walk out there, and I think, this is going to be beneficial.
Is there any other comments? Mr. Frost?
And I can relate to the citizens, but I'm for this project. But, we often get our mission statement quoted to us, and, the last line says, obtain such lands for the education, recreation, and pleasure of all its citizens. And I think this certainly fits that mission statement.
Thank you very much. And seeing Mr. Shadle walk in reminds me that this is Fat Tuesday, and he's got his beads on, and very good. Carl's one that would appreciate these national celebrations. Is there any other business to?
I was just going to make a little comment that Phil didn't see the light.
Phil didn't see the All right. Fireflies.
I don't think we have fireflies on the church.
All right. Is there anything else to come before this board? Oh, there's a motion by...
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Mr. What's the T.R. Smith? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.